All right. Level's good. Everything good?
Yeah.
Good to go?
I know about those creepy questions though. So a long time ago, I used to be a photographer, and on my page, I had a girl's profile, like a picture.
Oh, yeah.
So everyone assumed that I was a girl.
I've heard that a lot.
Dude, and the messages there was only, photos from like beaches and shit.
Right.
The messages I would get, I mean, just straight dicks.
Mm-hmm.
Just
they don't care.
Like they're just dick. Who goes straight to the
Dude,
dick?
I'm friends with another photographer on Facebook, and he like does a lot of these high-end like fitness model shoots. So all of his photos, including his profile picture, is a fitness model.
Yeah.
And he just screenshots them now and posts them to Facebook. It's unreal. Like not even a hi, not even a hey, how old, not where are you located, just like
think
here.
Think about how willy-nilly you just send out a dick pic without doing any research to who you're sending it to. Like,
you should do research.
Like do like some basic Googling maybe before you send your fucking dick out there.
Let's just start this off with a question. Do you get an inordinate amount of them given?
Yes. Like what the main thing I do for a living now is selling Snapchat stuff. So they can
it's a good
talk
business.
right back and forth with me. So I mean, I just have to open hundreds of dick pics all day. Like there's like maybe like one good dick pic out of like 200.
Is there really? Okay, but you're legitimately getting like triple-digit dick pics a day.
Oh yeah,
you should catalog them and like put them into like different categories.
Yeah.
I can't stand. Sometimes I just hand the phone to my husband. I'm like, reply to
Wait,
these.
you said you get like one that's decent. What defines a decent dick pic?
A big, nice, big one. I don't know.
a nice big dick.
Like a good
A
looking
nice
dick.
big dick. Yeah. Sometimes there's this one guy who's like in a bubble bath every night at the same time, and he sends me videos of him like trying on all the little filters in the bath. It's so weird.
That's sweet.
Yeah, that's like
okay. You want to look at them every
I
day.
mean, that's better than the alternative, I feel like.
It's interesting though. I feel like a lot of your fans would feel sort of a more personalized connection to you because of the snap, because they can interact,
for
because of the
sure.
interaction.
Yeah, that's what I like about it too. Is like people like I have a wish list that I link, and then people will buy. Like I'll be like, oh, buy me stuff, and then I'll try it on for you. So that's when I'll send them snaps.
I didn't even
though.
think about that.
I'm about to start doing
Like
that.
That sounds legit.
Buy me this
I didn't
bottle of
think
whiskey.
about
I'll drink it for you.
See, that would so work for me. They would love that. There's like such weird fetishes out there.
Yeah. Do you get a lot of guys who like want to be like humiliated, like that kind of thing?
Yeah, I like doing that. There's because they'll pay anything fetish, they'll pay a lot of money.
Yeah.
So there's this guy who just wanted me to like set up a camera while I have sex with my husband, and then just make fun of him and say like, "You'll never ever fuck me, and you're never gonna get any pussy."
Yeah, the humiliation thing is a big deal.
Yeah.
It's really fun too because you just get to be mean and get paid.
Wait, so you said you've encountered some odd fetishes. That obviously is one of them. But what would you define as an odd fetish, like that you came across and you were like, okay, that's a little fucking strange?
Poop.
Yeah, feces stuff. I
Like,
feel
what
like
if they
that's
asked you to do?
Yeah.
Like, they want to see you shitting?
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
done some weird stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does exist.
It exists.
It does
Yeah.
exist.
It exists.
That is out
And
there.
is there a price? Like, is there like how far would you be willing to go?
I have stories.
But before we do that, let's
Yeah.
introduce everything and everyone and just go from there. It's always a good segue when you're talking about fecalphilia.
Yeah.
Ladies and
Speaking
gentlemen,
of fecalphilia.
welcome to another episode and a special episode of the Tasteless Gentlemen. As you could tell, we have one additional guest and we are missing one regular guest. Dom is not with us tonight.
Don't adjust your computer screens. That's not dumb.
he's not wearing camo. No, we have Karmen Karma.
Karmen Karma.
I did this
Karmen
earlier. Karmen Karma. That's why I said KK.
Karmen Karma. There, yeah.
KK. I like
Call me
KK.
what you want. It's fine.
Yes. Would you like to just say hello and talk about what you do?
Yeah. So, my name is Karmen Karma. I've been in the porn industry for over 6 years now. It's a lot of time sucking dick. But like I've taken like a little break here and there. I took a break so I'm married. I know people can't accept the concept that I'm married.
Just burst the bubble.
Yeah.
It does exist.
It
Yeah.
does exist. There is a guy that's willing to deal with me. I don't know how, because I don't think I could even handle it. But yeah, I took a break off, and during that break, I wrote a book and came back to the porn industry. So now I'm doing a lot of stuff just online, interacting with my fan base, but I do shoot for browsers once in a while. but focusing more on like my Snapchat and my book.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. I've always wondered about the husband thing.
Mhm.
I have a million questions about
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
that. But it's not, it's only because I know, like you said, I couldn't handle it.
I couldn't even handle it.
Yeah. Like if your husband was doing porn and, you know, like you wouldn't be able to handle that.
Right. Like I remember when I got into porn, I was not interested in dating the male porn performers because that's like the only relationships you ever see in
Right.
porn is
Yeah.
like the porn power couple.
Yeah.
But that's why all my friends are like, "How did you find him?" And I have no idea.
You're like Craigslist.
And he
Back page.
I found him in a nightclub actually, and he followed me around like a puppy all night.
Honestly, though, like I'd be much happier dating a porn star because at least I know she's coming.
Yeah.
I'm really honest about everything too, and he said that's like what makes it easier. And he's like not into like a weirdo like cuckolding or he doesn't like to see me like having sex. He says like the only time is like when he's pissed at me in the past. He's like, "Oh, I like watching scenes I know you hated, so I can."
That's valid.
I can get back
That's
at
valid.
you.
That's like almost a grudge fuck, you know?
Wait,
Right?
when you initially met, did he know who you were? Or he just saw you in a
Yeah, he
nightclub.
knew.
Oh, okay, I didn't know if he was like, "Oh, she's hot. I'm gonna go follow her around for the next 2 hours."
Well, yeah, it was kind of like that. I don't think he was like a fan or anything,
but he knew of you and what you did.
Yeah, he
Okay.
knew that like the girlfriends I was with, like, because we all got a table at his nightclub because we were porn girls.
Was he a manager?
He was a promoter, which
Promoter?
is the
Ah, there we
like,
go.
that is so not my type.
Now I know I can deal with it.
Right? Yeah. So, but I mean, he's super dope dude. He never tells me to quit and stuff. I'm always like, okay, well, I'm gonna fuck this dude for my Snapchat, like still to this day. And he's like, all right, awesome.
That's fair. I mean, if it works, it works.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
It's
like
just,
it.
I think it takes. I mean, obviously he's a fairly secure male, right?
Right. of
Because you
course.
couldn't be remotely insecure and date someone who has sex with other men.
No, he's like never been jealous of anything that he's at least told me. I remember when I did my first DP scene, like my double penetration. It was my first interracial double penetration scene, and I was so nervous for it.
Wait,
I'm like,
first interracial and DP? Or
no, interracial DP, which is
Oh,
way different
okay,
because
got
they're
it.
bigger. So I'm like, I don't know if they're both gonna fit in there. So
Well,
I was
there goes
really
my first question.
That's true. That does knock off a couple questions from the list.
So when I did it, and then he showed up on set afterwards with a dozen donuts for me, and he's like, "Congratulations!"
That's awesome.
So he's like super supportive.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That actually leads to a question that one of our fans did ask. How does one, such as yourself, prepare for that scene? Like, or just interracial DP specifically?
Interracial DP.
Because you did say size-wise, I mean, you know, stereotypes do tend to be somewhat accurate on occasion.
Oh yeah, for
So
sure.
how
for
does
sure.
how do you
There's-
prepare for that?
Well, you have to clean out your entire
Yeah,
body. So
yeah.
it's just a lot of enema, shower enema to just clean your whole body out for hours.
So are you doing it the day of, or do you actually
The night
start
before.
Night before? Okay.
And then the
I've wondered
morning
this.
of.
Yeah.
It's like a surgery.
Yeah.
No, it's
Yeah, you
so
can't eat or
hard.
drink for 24 hours.
No, you can't.
I mean, you might get a punctured lung, so.
The morning of, you can't like have coffee. You can't have breakfast or anything. I mean, you could, but you probably shouldn't. And then you get to set, and it's the whole day on set, and then at the end, you finally have sex, and then you can eat afterwards.
So is this pretty much protocol for any anal scene?
Yes.
That's interesting.
Some girls
For
will
anal only?
eat, anal only. Yeah. So some girls will eat gummy bears. They say you can eat gummy bears, and that it'll be fine. But
Wait, like because the gummy bears make you piss out of your ass?
what?
You never no, you never heard that? The
No.
sugar-free gummy bears. Yeah, go on Amazon. There's like 10,000
you're
reviews.
talking
They
about
make you piss out your
Yeah.
ass?
You're talking about the diabetic gummy bear.
yeah, the sugar-free gummy bears.
No,
That's
you
why I
don't wanna
thought it
piss.
was an industry secret.
you don't want to shit on somebody's dick.
Yeah. So why would you?
No, I'm
wanna
saying to
piss out
clean
your ass?
yourself out.
The whole
for
point of cleaning
time
yourself out is so
before.
there's no shit on the dick.
You're not.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
No, they
Anyway.
eat gummy bears because I guess like that doesn't digest. So like you're not shitting on a dick.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. That,
That
makes
makes
sense. Yeah.
Mhm.
Basically, you don't want to shit on a dick.
No, that's like
That's a no-no.
that's
and-
every girl's fear. But I mean, it happens. Like I've done a scene where before I ever did anal, this is why I was so scared to do anal for a while. The girl that was doing anal, there was a girl doing anal in the scene, and then my job was to be strictly ass to mouth. So anytime the dick came out of her
You
ass,
were the ATM girl?
I was the ATM girl. So that was like my job, like the whole thing I had to do. And she was like spray shitting out of her ass. And every time it was disgusting. The director felt so bad. So he's like, I'm just going to turn this into a double blowjob.
Wait, can you set the I have so many questions. So what the fuck happened?
Is the ATM girl, is that like being like an extra on set? Like, is that
There's this guy who only shoots anal, and then if he really wants to get a girl who doesn't do anal, he'll just throw her in as an ATM girl just so he can kind of get some from her, you know?
That makes sense.
Man,
Wait,
that's a serious writer right there.
Is there like, so speaking of writings, is there like, so when you find out you're this role, how do you find out? Do they just text you like, hey, you're doing this? Or is there like a contract?
My agent will be like, hey, can you do, well, like when I had an agent, be like, hey, can you work tomorrow and do an ass to mouth scene? This many dollars? I'm like, sure. I'll eat.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can say no, but you usually know if you're going to do something like that.
And so this chick was just spraying shit.
Yeah, she did not know how to clean her ass out at all. And every time his dick was like a plunger. So every time he pulled it out, it just sprayed. It was like all on her like leggings that were, or her tights that were going down. And I was like, I cannot.
Did it get on you?
Yes. And I was like, I cannot put my mouth on this. I just can't.
Wait, so this is a scene and she's spraying fecal matter
but
everywhere.
They can't show, they never put out any of that because you can't show poop.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, I get that, but is the director like, okay, time out, cut. Okay.
Yeah. And then he's like, go try to clean again. She comes back. It's still a disaster. So he's like, I guess we'll just do a double blowjob.
That's a reminder that every time you beat your meat, there's more that went into it when you're watching that scene.
Seriously, porn ruined it for me, like as a watcher too, because I'm like, oh, I know everything. I know these people. I know she's a bitch. I hate him. I know this house. Like,
are you still...
my one question is like, how often does a dude like blow his load too early or go limp, and when you got to stop shooting or like restart or everything like that?
So usually, it's really rare they pop early. Most of the time, they can't come.
That was my...
Like, that's the thing. Like, they'll get really, because I mean, the whole scene depends on the guy coming.
Yeah.
Like, if the guy does not come, the scene's garbage. Like, I've had a scene before where the guy literally couldn't come. We were sitting there forever, so we had to go back weeks later, and I just had, it was a pool scene too, so I just had to dip my hair in and then get back on my knees and just wait for him to jerk off on my face again.
So this is weeks after the original scene was shot?
I had to come there just for like that 30-second ending.
Yeah, that just ruins the illusion, huh?
Yes. But there are guys that sometimes will use like fake cum if we're on set and the director's just like over it. He's like, all right, we're gonna do a fake cum shot in your mouth. So a lot of like the pictures and like sometimes in video, the stuff you see, like if you see pictures of like a huge facial, it's not really cum.
So that'll make you feel better about your load, everybody.
Yeah.
That's your lesson for today.
Mm-hmm. Like if the guy does the cum, and then so usually after the scene ends, then the photographer will come back in and get the pop shot photos.
Mm-hmm.
And if the load is like super unimpressive, then the guy comes in with a fake cum and just squirts it all over you.
What's the content of the fake cum?
It's Cetaphil. It's like a thick cleanser.
Yeah, like the face wash. That's it.
Yeah, but then you have to like mush it around your mouth and make it like look.
It's gotta be awful.
I feel like it would not be easy to come on camera. I really don't. I mean, is it? How is that for a female?
Well, it's easy for girls because girls don't have to like keep anything hard.
Yeah,
like
and you don't have to. You don't necessarily have to shoot anything out in order to indicate that you did.
Right. It's really easy for a girl, but like the guy, I think a lot of, because I get so many guys who are like, oh, I want to be a porn star. I can do it. I film stuff with my girlfriend. Blah blah blah. It's so different because like you have lights around. And there's a guy that's holding, even when it's like POV porn.
Yeah,
there's a guy right over you. And
absolutely.
The guy can't even like look at the action. He has to be like sitting with his head back like this, and the camera's right here. So like it's so different than what you think, and it's so different than real life sex. And
it's also other people are depending on you. Like if you're shooting with your girl, you can just stop or whatever.
Yeah.
But like when you've got like 15 people depending on you to make the scene happen.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all kinds of fucking pressure. You can't just go to the buffet and hang out for like 15 minutes on set.
Yeah, and a lot of the girls like will be kind of bitches to the guys, like they're taking a long time, like just standing there like jerking off, and the girls will be all, instead of like trying to help them, like a good girl should do.
A little moral support. Come on.
Some girls will just like be obviously annoyed,
like rolling their eyes and like audibly sighing.
Like, gotta go.
Yeah, that's not gonna help.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not gonna help
way
at all.
more pressure.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, like fuck.
Mm-hmm. Poor guys.
You girls have no understanding of how difficult these things are.
No, I know. That's why I'm always just like super sweet. I'm like, okay, what can I do? And then the guys will tell you like their weird ass fetish. I'm like, oh God. And I feel like I'll tweak my nipples. He'll do that. And this one guy like loves to whisper about how he's gonna pee in my mouth. I'm like,
But who is the guy? It's only smells.
Oh yeah, it's on what is it?
Is it not Rocco's or Freddy?
Right.
I think so. Yeah.
it's only
Rocco.
smells.
Yeah.
We used to joke. I mean, it was so funny. The clip. He's like, "It's only smells. It's only smells."
oh my god.
So do you do like what's that convention in Vegas?
AVN.
AVN, yeah. So you do all that kind of stuff. You hang out with all these people, see them all behind the scenes and everything like that.
Yeah, I've been doing AVN for like 5 years, 6 years.
That seems intense. Like
It's a shit show.
so, like you know how Olympians when the Olympics happen and they say it's just like a fuck fest. Like the like they show because there's a bunch of elite athletes,
Right.
and they're all jacked up on testosterone. They're just fucking.
Oh,
I
really?
feel like
hot.
that's how. Yeah, I feel like that's how AVN is, kind of right.
Yeah, they all call it like the AVN flu. Everyone gets chlamydia and passes it around, I guess.
The AVN flu, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because everybody's just like drinking and partying.
It's not the clap, that's the applause.
Yeah. So it's crazy. It's just a bunch of naked people in a convention. It's a lot of fun, but I don't drink anymore. But when I used to drink, it would be like you'd have to need like a month to recover from
I'm
it.
sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Do drugs still tend to be associated with that industry significantly, or is it better now than it used to be?
I feel like it's. But see, I don't live in LA anymore. So when I lived
Yeah,
in,
that's a big difference.
yeah, I used to live in model houses. So that's when
Yeah.
I knew like all like the dirty secrets and
Of course.
stuff and be gossiping with the girls about who was all fucked up on set. So now I'm like, oh, I feel like there's not drugs, but that's also because I don't hang out.
Because
with many of
you're
those
not
people.
you're not around it anymore.
Mhm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I also feel like with the way porn has been mainstreamed, like a lot of like the cliches and stuff that were around it before probably aren't as prominent.
Right.
I could be wrong about that, but like I don't know, maybe all like the daddy issues and drugs and alcohol and things like that maybe aren't as like
There's
the dry.
daddy issues. Don't worry.
Those aren't going anywhere. Those aren't going anywhere.
I'm not saying they're gone.
Yeah.
I'm just saying they weren't like the primary like feeding force, and I feel like people just get into porn now because they like doing it as opposed to before where like there would have been
Like
reason.
they needed money.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, totally. And there is like the top agent drug tests his girls. So like the top girls take it really seriously and they can't go out and party before set and stuff like that. But I don't know. I know what I wanted to just do porn just to do porn. I was like, fuck the money. Like I just always knew I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair.
Can't
Yeah,
relate.
no, like
Oh, I don't feel like it's something that you just stumble into.
No.
It's like
Right.
I'm doing porn. It's not like
How did you? What started you down that path? I mean, obviously you had the desire to do it, but at some point, I imagine a door had to be open, right?
Well, when I was like, okay, so 17, I wasn't supposed to be doing this, but that's when I started webcamming.
Allegedly.
Yeah. So I really wanted, like, I always knew, like, I remember seeing a Playboy when I was like, probably like 10, and I was like, I want to do that one day. I don't know why, like, I was always super sexual. And then I like was on the internet. I was from a really small town. So I started webcamming and I loved it. And I was like, okay, now I want to try stripping. So I moved to Florida and I started stripping down there. And then like I just kept trying not to do porn.
but porn was just everywhere around you.
I just wanted, like, I kept being like, okay, I'm going to wait. When I was 18, I was like, I'm going to wait until I'm 20.
I mean, you're definitely on the outskirts. What you're doing right now,
Right.
or what you were doing,
And also Florida.
yeah, exactly.
So then I was like, when I turned 21, I was like, fuck it. I'm always going to like wish I did it. And I didn't want to have a regret. So I was like, I want to at least try it. And then I loved it.
Like from the first scene, you were hooked. That was
yeah,
it.
yeah, I was hooked.
But you kind of knew that going into it. You're like, I'm gonna really like this.
Yeah, I was trying not to because like I knew my dad would just obviously not be
Yeah.
happy. So like I was trying so hard to not disappoint him. But I was like, you know what? It's my
Don't worry,
life.
you don't have to do porn to disappoint your dad. So.
Yeah.
did you tell him up front, or you just
Yeah, that was my
risk
next
it?
question.
Like
I risked it, and then like one day I get a text from my dad. He's like, "What's this, Karmen?" And he sent me that.
oh,
And I remember
shit.
I was such a brat, and he spelt Carmen wrong, like how I spell it. So
Yeah.
I just like corrected it with a little asterisk, and that's all I said back. And then he like didn't talk to me for a couple months.
Mm.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So he just stumbled across something that you had done, and that's how he discovered.
Or somebody told him about it.
Yeah, I'm from a really small town, so like everybody was gossiping about it. Like the day my first scene came on the internet, everyone knew from my hometown, and then someone sent it to my dad.
Oh,
That's fucked up.
Damn, I
who
want
would
to know who
send
the
that
yeah.
to? Fucking
What an-
really?
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
if that's gotta take some balls to be like, hey man, you gotta see this.
Yeah.
Like,
Someone-
hey, look what your daughter's doing.
Yeah.
Send. What the fuck? What kind of asshole are you?
I remember someone sent my dad my first nude when I was in 10th grade. Like, he literally opened his phone to my nude. Yeah.
What the fuck?
So he's not
What
surprised.
the fuck town were you from?
Yeah.
These people are assholes.
Yeah.
Wait, who sent it? Like the parent of somebody who you sent it
No,
to?
one kid in my class sent it to my dad. He got my dad's phone number somehow.
Like to try to out you?
Yeah.
Why, does this kid have a crush on you and like you wouldn't give him the time of day, so you get all butthurt?
I mean, yeah, I guess so.
There you go.
That's like revenge porn
Yeah,
style.
exactly.
Like,
Yeah,
that's
that
fucked
was-
up.
that was-
though.
Don't do that. That's 5 to 10.
That's pre-revenge porn
yeah,
era.
that's fucked up. I couldn't imagine sending that to someone's parent.
No.
Like, it wouldn't
Hell
even matter
no.
what she did to me. I'm not sending that to your family. Like,
Ugh, so
Yeah, I don't want to know anything about anybody's family at this point.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
much less send a fucking nude photo of somebody's daughter. Are you kidding me?
Oh, one
I'm-
time, like years into me being in porn, someone photoshopped my little sister's head onto a girl I was eating out, like a picture of a girl I was eating out,
Oh
photoshopped my
God.
sister on it, and then
Wow.
put it in the mail and mailed it to my
Whoa.
house.
So they
my
printed it,
dad's
they
house.
photoshopped it, they printed it, and mailed it.
Mailed it to my dad's house.
Dude, what the fuck
I know.
is that?
Oh, wait,
I
this
know.
is somebody you grew up with?
I have
Obviously,
no
'cause-
idea who
'cause
did
they
it.
had your dad's address and all that?
I mean, it had to be. My little sister's the one that told me about it. My dad never even brought it up to me.
Did he ever accept what you were doing?
No.
No, never? Even to this day?
I mean, it's kind of like we just don't talk about it.
Okay.
But if I like wanted to sit down and like be like, oh, so guess how work's doing, and stuff like that, he would just be like, oh, stop it. So we just kind of act like it's not there.
Yeah, so when you go to like a wedding or something like that and people give the old, oh, so what do you do for a living? What,
Yeah.
what do you...
I say I'm in the adult industry,
Yeah.
and then
that's
people
fair.
are like, oh, what do you do? I'm like, oh God, why are you making me
Yeah.
do this right now?
You're like
As-
construction. I build the sets.
as soon as you
I do
don't,
the lighting.
Yeah.
as soon as you don't say something incredibly mundane, there's a million fucking questions.
A million.
A
'Cause
million questions.
Most people do mundane shit.
Yeah.
Mm.
Most people work in the office, so they want to know. They're all curious.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just went to my husband's 10-year reunion, and that's what everyone was asking me. And he's like, just be honest, be honest. And I'm like, well, I do porn.
Yeah, there's no shame in that game. Fuck it.
Pull your Google out.
Right? I know. It was like all the guys asked me, and then they were just like dead quiet afterwards. Like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. Well,
That's
I
good,
also
though.
feel like now in this day and age, like you can just pull it up, and I bet that gets fucking weird when somebody's like, "Oh, let me check it out" or something like that.
Yeah, hang on one sec.
Or they
oh,
walk
there.
away.
Is that you?
And then they're like Googling like while you're still in the room.
Yeah,
100%.
back in the day, somebody had to have like the VHS or the DVD.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Let
right?
me take you to my trunk real
Yeah.
quick. Pop this in.
Well, once I was at the gym when I still lived in LA, this guy came up to me and he's like, "Oh, I know you. And like I was like, "Oh, hi, yeah." I was like talking to him. He was really normal then. And then I was on the treadmill, and then he like left the gym. He came back in. He's like, "I just jerked off to you in the car."
Dude.
Oh
And then-
my God.
I was like,
I was going to ask you if that had
"Okay."
happened because I feel like that's something most dudes would say, like, dude, you're so hot in person. You know how many times I've jerked off to you?
They really don't say that unless it's AVN, because that's when like those people
Yeah.
are like
Yeah.
comfortable saying it because they know
That's what
everybody
they're there
knows.
for. Yeah.
yeah.
But like most people will be like, "Are you Karmen?" And I'll just be like, "Yeah." And then I just like immediately envision them like jerking off to me.
See, that's why I can never, if there's like a porn star, like I had introduce, I would just immediately assume that she was like, all right, well, this guy's jerked off to me a
Yeah.
bunch.
Oh, for sure, right? Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if they recognize
Is
me,
that-
where else did you
Is
see
that
me?
weird,
Yeah.
though? I mean, really having the knowledge that thousands, if not maybe millions of men around the world have actually pleasured themselves to you, what you do. I mean, that's got to be somewhat of a power trip, isn't it?
Oh, I love
It's
it.
got to be. It has to
I
be.
guarantee you no woman has ever masturbated to me.
That's why I'm asking her, because I would like to know what it might feel like, because I'm never
Yeah.
going to know this in my entire life. This
No,
is
it's
never going to
crazy.
happen.
It's crazy. Like when you go like look at your like even on Pornhub and stuff, like the views. I'm like, that many people watch this?
Yeah, and some of them have crazy amounts of views.
Mhm.
Like
Right.
I've
Yeah.
just seen videos on porn. I'm like, dude, this has like 50 million
Yeah.
views or something. Like,
Yeah, it's insane.
I bet it's a lot of people watching them more than once. Like
Yeah.
that's their shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Of
course.
Yeah.
8 minutes, 32 seconds.
yeah.
You know, I got to get to work.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Or
100%.
somebody with 45 tabs open.
Yeah.
Guilty.
I still don't do the Pornhub thing. I don't know. Like I go on there every once in a while, but
Reddit.
it's more just for fun, like clicking around.
Really?
Reddit. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
really
Reddit.
Reddit.
You
Oh.
jerk off to Reddit?
Yeah.
I
He likes gifts.
Yeah, I did. Like, there's gifts. There'll just
Yeah.
be like a blowjob
Mostly,
gift.
mostly,
and I'm like,
mostly
yeah.
to the trending news. But no, I actually I dated a girl for a little while who did webcam stuff,
Okay, cool.
and she was at the gym, and this guy, like, instead of saying anything to her, like, took a photo and then sent it to her in her DMs on
Mhm.
IG, and then she was like looking around trying to find it. The dude
That's
didn't
so
say
creepy.
anything. Yeah,
That's so creepy.
and so she like went over to the manager. She's like, I don't know who the fuck is doing this right now, but
Right.
like just keep an eye out. Like,
Yeah, most of the time the guys are shy. Like, they won't say stuff in person. Then I'll be like, hey, I'll get a tweet. Were you just walking down this street, or were you at this place? I think I saw you. I'm like,
so
yeah.
passive aggressive.
I'm like,
Yeah.
you could have said hi. I'm not
But
going to be mean
honestly,
to you.
that's probably better than walking over. I'd rather
Yeah.
people err on the side of that.
Yeah.
Like, hey, did
Yeah.
I just
Be
see
more
you?
cautious as opposed to
Yeah.
overtly
Like running up
yeah.
on you, like, what's up, girl?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Damn, girl, look at those titties.
I just saw you on the internet.
Yeah, I guess that'd be weird.
I was-
Yeah, it
I
could
was-
go the other way.
I was sitting at home one night and and I was on the fan page, and somebody sent a message, and they're like, "Hey, is Scoop at an airport in like Utah right now?"
yeah.
And so I was like, I don't even know. Like, so I texted Scoop. I was like, "Hey, are you in an airport?" And he's like, "Yeah, man. I'm just coming back from like wherever was it,
Denver
Montana or something." Yeah. And I was like, "Oh, there's some dude who like says he sees you at the airport," and you're like, "Oh, well, just tell him to come say hi."
Right.
So I'm like relaying the message back to this guy. I'm like, "Yeah, you can go say hi."
Yeah. He walks up. He's all sheepish. And this
Aw.
is so funny. So we take a picture and we talk for a few minutes, and then there's a girl walking by. She doesn't know anything about what's going on, and she's like, "Can I get a picture?" She has no idea who I am. She just saw attention.
So-
She's like,
yeah.
"Oh, there's attention going on. Let me get in there."
Oh my
Like,
God.
I smell some attention around here.
yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
she ran over. I was like, "Do you know who I am?" And she's like, "Oh well, no. I thought you were somebody famous." I'm like, "What the?
Wow.
I'm not famous. I'm a fucking idiot in the airport."
You have to have gotten a lot of like creepy shit though over the years, right? I mean, like
Yeah.
stuff that you're like, you kind of laugh at it on the outside, but on the inside, you're like, holy fuck.
I mean, I guess I'm kind of like used to it all.
Yeah.
Because at the beginning, like stuff would really like freak me out. But now it's just like, that's my life. That kind of comes
Yeah.
with the territory of like being so open on the internet and like showing like my buttholes on the internet forever. So
Yeah.
it's just.
I mean, once your butthole's out there, I mean, one time or 10 million times, it doesn't matter. Your butthole's out there,
that's
right?
why I came
Yeah.
back to porn, because I was thinking, I was like, I'm already out there. Like, everybody's already going to be like, oh, that's the porn star. So I may as well just milk it, make
Yeah.
as much money as I can.
Yeah.
And there's I feel like there's a lot more people. There's more money to be made maybe on the internet than back. Like I think a select few people were making a lot of money in the 90s. And now it's like there's a lot of people making pretty good
Well,
money.
you
Does
can
that
get,
make sense?
You can get
Oh,
the money
yeah.
directly to you now, as opposed
Right,
to
right.
like.
Yeah, there's no gatekeeper.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there
Yeah.
used to be.
Right. Like right now I'm doing the Snapchat, and I'm just chilling at home doing that, and I'm making more money than when I used to be going to set all day long
Right.
every day, like
Yeah.
working the hardest I did, like working the most. And
That's
now I'm
a
just
good
chilling,
living.
Yeah,
chilling and
that's a great living.
masturbating on Snapchat.
I've always said if any girls wanted to pay for my Snapchat, I'd fucking do it in a flash.
Right?
For sure.
If there was a market for that, I would be beating my dick fucking
Yeah.
all day.
Your dick would be
yeah,
raw.
it would be raw as fuck.
Just bloody
Yeah.
and raw.
It would just be this flaccid thing I'd be flinging around, fucking flicking it around on camera as long as I fucking could.
Well, it's so crazy too because I know somebody who's I'll be nice, say she's not very attractive. She's horribly annoying. I cannot fucking stand her, but she makes a really good living selling butthole pics on fucking
Yeah,
Snapchat.
I believe it.
And I'm like, how the fuck? Who's
Wait,
paying?
just her butthole?
I mean, yeah, that's,
Not even her face.
no, that's exaggeration.
Well, that's
but-
why I'm asking,
No, no,
because
no.
you said she wasn't
No, it's her whole body, but and her face. But it shocks me that someone would pay for it. Not that anyone would pay for my Snapchat. I'm not talking shit about her, but like, if she's making money, other people are making a ton of money.
Yeah,
you know?
on the site that I use, like I scroll through sometimes and see the girls, and there's this one girl, her like name is like Fat Brat with a fat cat, and she's
Fat brat with a fat cat.
I really hope she never sees.
But how
this.
fat is her cat?
I mean, she's just fat.
So it's more her
But
than the
I'm
cat
like,
itself.
what the fuck? She's always like in like maybe like the top 25 bestsellers. I'm like, damn, like she's really
Yeah.
out here getting a lot of money.
Dude, that's awesome.
I know. I'm
But
just
what's
like mind blown.
is it a fetish thing? I mean, is she that?
It must
Is she
be.
huge? I mean, is she gigantic?
She's huge, and her tits are like.
So it's a fetish thing.
Her
It's
tits
like,
aren't even
It
big, are
must
they?
be. No, her tits are fucking
Okay,
huge, like double the size of her head. They're fucking massive. It looks crazy.
Continue, but slower.
Yeah.
But like, have you seen the fetish stuff for like the BBW girls? Of they can literally sit on camera and just get paid to eat.
Yes.
Yep.
I'm
yes.
so mad.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
that creeps
But-
me out a little bit though.
Yeah,
that
it
one
freaks
really
me out
creeps
a
me out.
little
I
bit, too.
feel like I know that there's there's actual term for this.
A
But-
foodie, or is it?
No, but there
No,
is
that's
that. But
something else, yeah.
there's an actual term that psychologists use. It's people that want to feed other people to death. And I saw a guy talk.
death?
Yeah. And that is part of that fetish. So
Oh,
they want to
damn.
feed them until they die.
Like the dude who
Fuck.
died in the movie Seven.
Seven,
Yeah, it's kind of
What's
like
in
that.
the box?
Yeah,
Really?
it's kind of like it's
That
actually
I didn't
it's like
know
a
that.
straight up like a psychosis thing, or not psychosis, but
It's kind of like Munchausen syndrome or
sociopathic
some
thing.
shit.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah. And so like, I'm sure it's not everybody. Some people just get off on the the sound of the noise, the noise or whatever.
Right.
But there is a group of people that are like crazy.
That's what I
like
said.
that.
The new trend I've been seeing is the ASMR porn.
Right. Yeah, I've seen that too.
I didn't know there was porn
Like the
with that.
ladle in the mac and cheese.
Exactly.
That's so gross. I'll never ever forget that sentence that you said on our last show. Never.
Now every time you fuck a girl, you're just gonna think mac and cheese.
We were talking about ASMR, and he described having sex as like sticking a ladle in a bowl of a thing of mac and cheese.
For
Like,
sure. That's that good.
yeah, that's that good.
What was that? BigDickBitch.com?
BigDickBitch.com.
That good. So should we get into some questions from the
Yeah.
fans?
Yeah, I think we've actually. I know for a fact we've touched upon a few that that I had, but yeah, for sure.
Scroll through the first 5,000. What about fat girls questions?
Yeah, we definitely appreciate everyone that's sending.
Well, I mean, how many we get? You
So
said at
on-
least a couple thousand.
Yeah, on Instagram there's at least a couple thousand. I took 100 and I think it was like 112 screenshots before I got tired,
Damn.
and that's 8 questions per, and I only got through like half.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
And then I was like, I'm not. I'm done. Like, this is enough questions.
Well, we're not
That-
even going to make
that's-
it through
that's-
6 of these.
That's
That
way.
you-
That's
Yeah.
way more than the why do bitches.
Oh yeah, way more. Yeah, way more.
Okay, well, this I think we kind of touched upon, but the first question, this was we don't need to say names. Dom likes saying those, and I don't need to. If you have kids, how would you handle the situation if they found one of your videos?
So I actually do have a daughter.
Yes.
And that is like my biggest fear is not like her finding it, but her like hating me for doing it.
Ooh,
So
yeah.
Like
so-
resenting
dark.
you because that's what
well,
you did?
yeah. I mean, like I'm already like saving for her private school fund because I'm like I don't want her to be teased. So I'm like trying to like already put like things in place. But like my hope is just like in 10 years maybe it'll be more normalized. And my plan is just like to raise her as like not like a slut, but like sex positive. Like that sex isn't a bad thing. If
Yeah, it
people
won't
are,
have any
like,
negative
wanting to-
connotations.
yeah, and just like for her just to not care what people think, hopefully. But that's why actually like in my book I touched upon like a part of as long as like my daughter loves me and understands everything, then that's all that matters. But I mean it was a huge thing like when I did have my daughter. I didn't know if I should come back because basically I was like, she's going to hate me for doing it. But then I was like thinking, well, whether I did it then or if I do it for like another couple years or whatever, like either way, I still did it. So I'm going to just make a lot of money for her future and then she can't hate me.
For sure.
Well, like you said,
also on top of that, like there's gonna be new shit flooding the internet for fucking.
Yeah,
like,
I'm not going to be relevant in like 10, 15 years when she's like on the internet seeing these things.
Yeah, like back in the day, you'd be like primetime star for years, but now it's like
Yeah.
the internet. Like there's always new, and there's always. I don't
She's
know.
not going to, unless she like goes to Google, whatever. But I plan to be like super open with her. So
I feel
like
like,
you
but
s-
you're ready to have that conversation. By
I'm
the-
already like
Yeah,
planned
yeah.
it a million
like,
times in my
you
head.
had it. Yeah,
By the time she's
exactly.
like on an iPad or whatever it is, like you're like, all right, now we
I'm
need
gonna
to
tell
yeah.
her way
Mhm.
before she
Yeah, yeah.
ever gets
Yeah.
to that. Like whenever it's appropriate for me to talk to
Yeah.
her about that kind of stuff, like I'm gonna be really open with her.
That's way crazier than the birds and the bees. The
Yeah.
conversation.
So I'll show her a video to explain how sex works.
So
Yeah,
here's
like
mommy.
when I wrote that note and said, "Do you want to fuck me?" and that's when my parents had that chat with me, and I was like 9.
What?
We talked about it, so I don't need to get into it. But I wrote a note, and I got caught by the teacher. I was writing a note to a girl I had a crush on, and it was like a back and forth note. Do you want to kiss me? Do you want to date me? And it ended with, "Do you want to fuck me?" And the teacher caught it and
Savage.
called my parents.
Yeah.
So
Oh
I
my
had that talk
God.
when I was like, I don't know, 7, 8, 9.
Oh my
I was young.
god, that's
That's
young.
But yeah, that's a better approach than having to
Yeah.
fucking sit down and go, all right, well, let's talk.
So now you get to say, "Oh, the night before you do an enema," and
Right?
But like you said, I mean, once one of those videos is out there, like you can't take it back. So you might
No,
as well,
yeah.
like you said, you're doing the right thing. Like you're contributing to her fucking college fund.
Yeah, I'm just
So,
like
yeah.
saving for her.
Would you say you're more concerned, not so much the conversation about like what you did and all that, because like you said, at whatever point in time when you have that conversation, it's going to be way more mainstream than it even is now.
Yeah.
for sure.
But is your bigger concern like her like classmates and things like that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just the like people bullying her. So I'm just gonna raise her to be a little bad bitch and like not take
Yeah.
shit from
Yeah.
anyone.
Don't take shit from
If she punches somebody in the teeth right away, nobody's ever gonna say anything again.
Yeah. So that's I mean, I'm not ashamed of anything I do, and that's what like my husband says too. He's like, well, you know, we're not gonna hide it from her because like we're not ashamed of it. So, but yeah, my whole thing is kids are so mean. So
Kids are
so-
assholes.
I mean,
They're
those
fucking
two
assholes.
stories you told earlier, that's shocking. Those
Which
like
one?
sending shit to your
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's I can't even. That's
No,
like
that's
fucking. That's so fucked up to do that to somebody. I don't care what it is. That's super fucked
I could
up.
never be that angry with someone to do that to them.
No.
Like what the fuck?
yeah.
It's creepy.
I literally don't even know what anger is like at this point in my life. Like
Chilling.
It's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
maybe it's full blown sociopath, but like I just don't care anymore. I don't know.
This is a good question. We kind of touched upon it, but not significantly. Do you actually enjoy the sex when it is done for a living?
That was a good one. I feel like when I got in, every scene was like so much fun because like it was something I
It was new.
dreamed about doing. Like some girls dream to be a doctor. I'm like, I want to be a whore. But like I really just dreamed about this for so long. So I was like super happy to be doing any scene I could get. But then like years in, when I'm just like doing it nonstop, I like started getting, you know, really like exhausted.
It looks exhausting.
Yeah, it
It's
is
a lot of work.
So it wasn't like I didn't enjoy it. It was just like it started turning more into like a job. So even
like
like if
anything,
you,
yeah.
So like it started being my job. So I'm like, but then like there'll be like a really hot guy that I've been wanting to work with, or I'll get like I love when I get like more than one guy. Then I'm like, oh yeah. So like I enjoyed those ones a lot more. But there's definitely days that it's just more work. But also like at the beginning, I kind of just worked with anybody that my agent told me to, and now I'm at a point where I can be like, I'm not working with him.
Right. You can be like way more
Yeah.
selective.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
you can call the shots now more than. I mean, when
I
you
feel
first,
like I watch porn like differently now that I'm older. Where like now, like I'll watch it and it's some like huge dick. I'm like, I hope she's okay.
Feeling
what
for her.
I mean? Yeah, like I hope she's
We're
gonna
not
be,
okay.
I hope she's gonna be all right tomorrow because that's a lot of fucking work.
when you first started out, I mean, was the money decent when you first start out,
No, I
or is
feel
it really shitty?
money is they give like the new girls a lower budget because you're not shit yet. Like
Yeah,
you don't
'cause
have
you're new.
a following, you don't have a name, and you kind of just take what you can get. I mean, like sometimes they pay you like a good rate, but you know, once you're like established, you can ask for double that or even more. But definitely there's shoots at the beginning, like the super amateur stuff where they don't have a big budget, that they want like the amateur looking girls. That
Mhm.
stuff doesn't pay anything.
Casting couch type
Yeah,
shit.
the casting couch and like the little teeny bopper stuff, like they're just barely paying you.
Speaking of casting couch,
Yeah, right. Wait, is this myth true? Somebody asked this question, but is this true that the male porn stars have to do gay porn at some point?
No,
It's just
but
they make more
I never
money,
heard that.
right?
Really?
yeah, so a lot of guys actually I shouldn't say a lot, but that used to kind of be true.
Yeah.
Like that's how you get in. But now I don't think so at all. But there are guys like we'll find out all of a sudden like, oh my god, I just found this guy's gay porn, and then all the girls put him on the no list.
Oh,
What?
really?
Mhm.
Is that's like a no? Like once a dude's been up another dude's ass, that's
It's called crossovers. So some girls will be like, "Oh, I'll work with anyone," and now like transgender porn is like a huge thing in like
Yeah.
in mainstream porn now. So now it's kind of like whatever, but there's still are girls like I still feel uncomfortable sometimes just because I'm like,
There was
Yeah.
a
What are you
huge thing, a huge deal recently with a porn star who said no to that, and she got like blasted on the internet. Who was?
that was my friend August,
Yeah,
the one who killed
yeah.
herself.
It
yeah.
was.
Yeah.
It was
Wow.
August, right?
Mhm, August Ames, yeah, because she found out someone was a
Yeah.
crossover and she voiced it on Twitter,
Yeah.
and then everyone was like, "You're a homophobe."
Yeah.
She's like, just like it doesn't mean I hate them. It's just I don't want to have sex with them. They don't want to have sex with me either. Like they're
Mhm.
gay. Like
Yeah.
they don't want to have sex with me.
And that's super reasonable.
Right,
Like,
right.
Well, yeah, she got bullied. Which
Yeah.
led to her
Yeah.
suicide.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like super fucked up. And now like people are still bullying girls for making those choices. And people are like, has no one learned from this? Like everyone's allowed to make their own choice. It doesn't mean that you're a homophobe just because you don't want to have sex with a gay guy.
Yeah,
No,
every-
you're
every-
transphobic
every-
in this day and age if you say
Yeah.
I don't want to sleep with
Every-
a
everything-
transsexual or transgender.
Everything went from like open sexuality, like do whatever the fuck you want, to being like if you're not literally doing everything, then you're an asshole.
For sure.
Yeah, you're a racist, bigoted
do-
piece of shit.
Yeah, it was like do whatever you want, fuck whatever you want, just stick it in as many holes as whatever. And then it's like, oh, you're not putting it in that hole, you fucking asshole.
Yeah, how dare
Yeah,
you?
How dare you not want to put it in that hole? You need to put it in all these holes if you're gonna put it in that hole. Fucking dicks.
Yeah, that was shitty. I remember when that happened. I was like, fuck, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So that is a common thing amongst porn stars, female porn stars.
I feel like it's now kind of like at the beginning when I first got into porn like 6 years ago.
Mhm.
No, like it was a huge thing. Like if you worked at the crossover, like girls didn't want to work with you, like girl on girl stuff. Like they'd be like, oh my god, she worked with a gay guy, and it was like a huge no. And now I feel like it's opposite. Like if you don't work with like a trans, then you're a homophobe. And me and my friend are actually talking about this because we both don't do those kind of scenes.
Mm-hmm.
But all girls are doing them now. All these girls are. It's like the gay industry and the straight industry is like crossing. And like I'm like such a lesbian and I love girls and like obviously I have nothing against that stuff, but it's just like I'm not attracted. If you're not attracted to it, like you should be able to pick who you want to have sex with.
for
You know?
sure.
No,
Yeah.
that we talk about this
Yeah.
on our show constantly about,
Mhm.
you know, I can be attracted to something and not attracted to something else. Doesn't
Right.
mean I dislike that
Yeah.
or
Well,
I'm afraid of it.
There was that thing going on, like, you know, on Tinder, people will put, you know, like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
prefer whatever. Like,
Yeah.
Or I think they even put, like, no white dudes or no black dudes,
Mhm.
right? And people are getting outraged about that. Why does that matter? I don't care.
I get that a lot because I say BBC only.
But that's like me getting mad when girls are like, I don't like dating anyone beneath 6 feet. And,
Oh.
like,
Are you the bagel guy?
Yeah.
right. I was thinking that too.
like that's no different. It's just
no
so
different.
it's so insane.
Everyone
to
has a
me.
preference.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't change that.
It's called being a human fucking being.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that there's that specific one you were just saying is pretty. I'm not saying like out there like as in it's bad, but it is far from the norm.
Yeah.
So it's like, come on, like if I don't like that, fuck off.
Yeah.
Leave me the
You
fuck
have a
alone.
right to not like something.
Yes, for sure.
So sorry. What are there like supplements that people are using to get through scenes at this point?
Supplements.
Supplements, yeah.
Like I've heard about zinc for the ropes. You know, you have like fat ropes if you take a bunch of zinc.
Oh, actually, yeah. I remember there was these pills. That I had
Literally, that was
advertised
the
about.
next question.
How long do male porn stars really last? And do they use pills or any kind of
That
performance
was literally the
enhancers?
next question.
No, these porn stars can go forever. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy. But I mean, I really don't know what they're doing. But it's just like kind of assumed that everyone either shoots up their dick
Yeah.
with whatever they shoot up their dick with. I don't know. what
Like
it is.
needle shoot up dick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I've heard.
Coke.
Is it what?
I've heard that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh, really?
if you break skin and then put coke on where the broken skin, but they're not doing that. That's like some crackhead shit.
Well, I
That's
don't
some
know.
that's some gnarly '80s porn star shit.
Yeah,
A lot. I mean, it's like you have to take pills. I know all the guys take pills because I see them go to their bag before the sex still start, and you know.
like Viagra pills.
Yeah,
pretty much.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, like Viagra pills. I mean, there are some guys that do coke because you can tell one guy is coke dick, and he's like, oh, like this one guy kept being like, I need to smoke another cigarette outside. I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
And I also need to talk to my parents for the next 15 minutes.
Yeah, and he was like, I need to go take a hot shower. I need to go take a cold
Well,
shower
like
now.
while you're laying there waiting to finish the scene,
I'm literally on my knees, like, bitch, come on, just come on me.
Like how
just fucking
how
come
much-
already.
how much lube are you going through at that point? Because like your bodily fluids can't keep you lubricated for that at that point, right?
Yeah, and then like you're just kind of like how the end of every scene is like the girl on her knees and we're just like waiting for the cum and the guys are just like trying to jerk off like aggressively and they're like sweat is dripping on you. I'm like, god damn, just fucking get this over with.
Just that nasty ass smell of ball sweat.
Yeah, it's just like dripping on my
and
face.
moist ass hair.
Cigarettes.
Do you have? Is there a scene or maybe scenes plural that just really stand out from your career that you're like, oh, that's a memorable one? As Ziggy grabs your boob.
He wants some. He's like, oh, okay. That I like memorable scenes in a good way or a bad way.
Either way.
Both.
Either way.
Something that you can never forget.
Yeah, just those that stand out in your mind.
I did a 14 guy blow bang. That was crazy.
Wait, that's hard. That's a tongue. 14 guy
14
blow
guy
bang.
blow
So
bang.
just blowjobs, no fucking.
Yeah, so basically it was like I was supposed to be this like meter checking lady, and I walk
Classic tale.
and
Classic
I walk
tale.
into the hood, and I like go into this garage, and like these 14 black guys come and they put me in the middle, and then they all come on me.
They're all hanging out in one garage. 14
As they do.
Yeah, exactly. Which is commonplace
Yeah.
in the hood. Yeah, for
Who
sure.
hasn't had that happen to them before?
Yeah, right.
So that was like the craziest because like 14, like before that, I think I did like a 5 guy blow bang, and that's a lot to come 5 guys, but like 14 on like a face. Like I was like a glazed donut.
But by the time like you've got like it's got to be drying by the time the other
has to.
you know like
I was gonna say, how long does that scene take to shoot? How long did it take to shoot that scene?
I mean, maybe like an hour. But I mean, like the guys were like they were like so into it.
So
And it was just like, come.
You literally have
come,
semen
come.
on your face for a full hour.
No. Like the starting, like the come time. Like I feel like maybe within 10 minutes they all came.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
that makes sense.
That's a lot. That's a lot of coordination.
It really is.
It's a slippery floor.
Hey, Scoop, you ready?
Yeah.
Almost.
That's fun. I love those.
One of the questions was, can you enjoy regular vanilla sex now, or does it? Is it like the ante always upped?
So I feel like my answer has kind of changed throughout. Because like at the beginning, like when I met my husband, he was like a normal guy. You know, he wasn't in porn, and I remember like the first night we had sex, I was like, go grab the coconut oil because I wanted to stick it in my ass. And I had no idea he's never had anal sex ever before. He's only
Really?
he
Ever?
only has had vanilla sex. And then I'm just like going crazy on this dude. And we had like some fucked up, like, I was like, you need like having a knife held to my neck during sex, like some crazy shit. Like I went through like a whole thing where I love to be like dunked underwater and drowned and all this weird shit. And then now I feel like I do so many crazy things that like vanilla sex sounds just fine.
Yeah, I feel like once you've done everything, like going in reverse is better.
Yeah, well, we talked about that.
Yeah.
You like get to the end and then you start back at the beginning and you're like, oh, I forgot how great normal sex is.
Now I'm like, oh, I just want to see a girl in her lingerie. Like that's fucking amazing.
I just want some side boob and I'm good.
I'm more curious about the fact that you wanted to be drowned. Like, were you telling him to like fill up the tub beforehand?
Yeah, I was wondering how did you manage to fulfill that one?
Or was it just in the tub to begin with?
No, well, sometimes. But like my big fan, I had this like whole movie that was all me, so I could like direct and put who I wanted in it. And that was like my big scene is that we did it in a pool, and then like we did like tons of cool like underwater blowjob deep throating stuff, and then like it went all on. It went viral on Twitter of like the guy, he's like drowning me, and it like on Black Twitter. Have you seen like Black Twitter? Like
course.
it's
Yeah.
crazy.
We talked about it many times.
Yes. So Black Twitter went crazy because the guy was black and he's
I
drowning
thought I
me.
recognized you.
Yeah. And
That's it.
and everyone's like just roasting me. They're like, damn, I drowned that bitch if she was yelling like that too. And just like the Pornhub comments on that video are just brutal.
You got to have really thick skin.
You have to, yeah.
It's unavoidable.
Yeah, it's like, you know, the celebrities have like their beach body pictures that are out. Like porn stars are literally like, you can see every inch of every hole of our body.
Yeah, now it's all HD. Before it was like, you know, on a reel to reel.
Yeah, exactly.
And you could barely see their fucking afro and their pubes. Now,
For
like
sure.
you can literally see every pore on their butthole.
Well,
Yeah,
if you
I'm
watch
used to
those
it.
old like 70s porns, like they're so bad.
Oh,
like
yeah.
the quality's so bad you can't really see anything, and there's so
But
much
there's
buildup.
There's
Get
something,
to the
there's
fucking.
something nice about it though. There's
Jesus.
something nice, like classy about it though. You know?
A little bit,
Classy porn.
Yeah.
a little bit, but
It's like watching any old movie, you know?
Like
Yeah.
Showtime porn.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the softcore porn is the worst thing in the world.
I agree.
Oh my God, try doing it. You don't
Oh.
actually have sex.
Yeah, you have
Most
the-
times.
you
Oh,
have
you're
the
just
so- you have the
pretending to have
socks.
sex?
Yeah.
That's like the worst because you have to like make noises and I'm like, oh,
Well, it's like that.
no one's enjoying this.
What was that movie, The Room or whatever? The one that was like literally like it's known as the worst movie ever made.
Really?
It was,
No idea.
So they made
Yeah.
they made a movie about the movie being made. It's called The Disaster Artist with James Franco. I'm sure you guys have seen the previews for it. Anyway, so the sex scene in the movie, the guy is like literally like he's like over her like stomach and pretending to have sex with her. So like they filmed the sex scene. He's like literally like on top of her in like the middle of her torso.
Like an impossible angle wouldn't even work.
Yeah, you obviously were. He obviously wasn't having sex with her, and so
right.
when they filmed this movie with James Franco or whatever, the director is Seth Rogen, and he's like, why is he like that high on her torso?
So it's like a parody?
Yeah, well, yeah, they're sort of like making fun of the way
Yeah.
the movie was shot, but like, yeah, like legitimately, they shot this movie and it's like softcore porn, and this dude's like on her fucking stomach, like he's having sex with her pussy.
Maybe he had a weird misshapen
Yeah.
penis. I don't know.
Right?
Speaking of penises, this is a common question that we got asked. I got asked on my page. But size. A lot of size questions.
Mhm.
Lots of size. We could go many different take many different paths with this one. So let's go with the basic. Does size matter?
By the way, this is Bradley's question.
Yeah,
I accepted my dick years and years ago. It is what it is.
It is what it is. That sounds
Yeah, you can't change it at this point.
Nope. No, I'm happy with my penis. I'm very happy with my penis. But apparently, a lot of men are very concerned about their own particular penis size.
Yeah, I mean, if you're watching porn, those dicks are fucking huge. Most of them are huge. So, like, working with them, like, my husband's dick is, like, Like,
whoa!
I always call him an MBC instead of a BBC, a medium black cock instead of a BBC. Just because I'm used to like, I go to like work and they're like these giant like foot long dicks.
Wait, so is BBC? Is that like
Big
your
black
shtick?
cock.
Yeah, I get it, but is that like your niche in the industry?
Yeah, that's what I like.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
That's what I was wondering.
So then
Because you
I,
mentioned it a few times.
Yeah, black cock. But yeah, so then, I mean, in porn, like a lot of the dicks are kind of, I feel like just average, which is like fine. But there are like the ones that are crazy big and they're fun to like, I feel like big dicks are fun to give blowjobs on. But I would never want to date a guy that had like a massive fucking dick.
Just 'cause
because
it's a lot of work.
I mean, it hurts. So like if you had a dude that has like a giant dick, like you don't want to have sex with that every day. Like it does hurt. It's fun for like one time and on camera and stuff, but crazy like monster cocks, like it's just like a fetish in porn.
I've always said that because you know those
Yeah.
like people talk about those guys who have like the like literally like 2-foot dick, like they're like they have a problem, there's something wrong with them.
Like it's called elephantitis
Yeah,
of
it's
the
a
genitals.
fucking-
It's a pituitary disorder.
Yeah, like there was that one guy, he had a sleeve and
Yeah.
like a sock taped on.
Yeah.
He had an actual problem, like it wouldn't stop
Yeah.
growing. It was some like
Holy
disease.
shit.
But my buddy's like, that would be fucking awesome. I'm like, no, it wouldn't
No,
be. No
girls
one
don't
would
like
Yeah,
that.
they'd want to see it. Like, oh,
Mhm.
let me check it out. Like you're a circus animal, like
we had this friend that we grew up with called we used to call him Uncle Ray Ray, and his nickname was Tripod.
yeah.
And one time we were down in San Diego partying, and he was like, we were calling him a tripod. And he's like, man, got emotional. He's like, you don't know, man, it sucks, man. Like every time I try to have sex with a girl, like I can't even get like 3 or 4 inches in, and it's like too much.
That's
he's
what I
like,
hear a
he's
lot
like,
from
I
these
can't even
guys.
fuck. Like,
Yeah.
I heard that a lot. Like the guys are like, girls will see it and then be like, I'm not having sex with you. So I feel like all guys want like a huge dick, but I feel like girls prefer like an average cock.
Yeah.
I think it's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's the general consensus.
Well, then you
It's
can
like
ram
every-
it home too.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
like you can't do that
Really
if you have
after,
a
yeah.
Never gonna hit cervix.
It's like everybody wants to be Batman until you realize every single night you got to be out there fighting crime.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to really do the work. You just want to
Exactly.
be able to say you do the work.
Exactly. So someone has a question here. And I don't know who this is, but would you ever shoot a film with the legend Tommy Love, also known as Ass Monster?
I have no idea who that is.
I've never heard that
Tommy
either.
Love?
Yeah.
Ass
I mean, you got to say
Monster.
yes to the name like that, though.
It's
Tommy Love.
TOMI Love LUV.
Should we Google him?
I know Jason Love, not
Well, maybe
Tommy
that's his
Love.
real
Ass
name. You're just
monster.
out him like that.
Is it a dude? Because the way
We need
it's
to
spelled
Google
could
it.
be a
Can we
It
chick.
Google
sounds like a
it?
chick to me, but
Wait, Tommy Love or Tommy Love?
okay. I mean, yeah, Tommy.
Can
Tommy.
someone Google it?
Yeah. I'll Google.
I
it.
got a question. Well, I think we kind of touched upon this one too. Have you had any real orgasms on set? Which I imagine the answer is yes.
Yeah, but not as many as I portray.
Exactly.
That's like my ex-girlfriend.
Yes.
So how often would you say it happens when you're working versus when you're having sex for
Way more,
passion's sake?
way more at home, like where you're comfortable and there's not
Yeah,
like
of course.
lights and
Yeah.
there's people like staring at you.
Mhm.
But I mean, like, I do like the whole. It gives me like a different rush, not like an orgasm per se, but like a rush of filming with people filming it, or like fucking with people filming it. I love that. Like, I like that whole like expedited.
I think that's like any performer, though, like a comedian going on stage.
You
or
just like being on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like shooting it and be like, oh, I know all these people are gonna jerk off to this, and I think it's super hot. So it's like a different thing, but it is enjoyable, and I'm just like, I'm gonna show out on this dick for everybody to watch.
I'm gonna show out.
I
I do
think
hang out with black dudes.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. That's funny.
Another question: do you get recognized often? I mean, we kind of went over that, but
yeah, when it happens, it doesn't happen much. Like when I'm in San Diego now, because I'm mostly like out with my family,
Yeah.
and no one's like been a weirdo like that. But at gyms, a lot like at gyms, but most guys will like message me on a social media site and be
Yeah.
like, "Hey, do you work at 24 Hour Fitness at this location?" I'll be like, "Yeah."
like, help.
And then airports a
No.
lot. Basically anywhere where I'm by myself, I guess. Then yeah, I noticed it happens.
So if you're with your husband, like they don't message ever.
No one ever really. I mean, one time someone came up and was like, "Can you take a picture of me with her?" And then my husband's like, "Yeah, sure. He's super dope."
Yeah.
But like that was like one rare time when we were in a gym in like Chicago, I think. one guy had like the balls to come up, but usually it's only when I'm alone.
I think that's probably. I don't look at a girl. I mean, I look at every girl I possibly can. But
don't lie.
But if she's with a guy, like I'm not gonna be disrespectful, like and stare at her. Like I'm gonna glance. I might take a peek when
you're gonna stare when he's not looking.
yeah. But that might be part of it though. Like people won't look. Yeah. They're not like, who is that? If you're with somebody.
I also think like even if it's not even a member of the opposite sex or whatever, like if you're with somebody doing something else, you're interrupting that person's good time or whatever. Whereas if you're in the airport alone or at the gym alone, then it's not like a huge deal to somebody else to go walk up and be, oh, hey, I recognize you.
Yeah, that's true.
I have a question about the porn industry in general. So given like with the rise of amateur porn, if you will, like basically anybody who is able to do, record their sessions with their significant other or even solo sessions at home and post it to Pornhub.
Yeah.
Do you foresee that being the direction of porn? Or do you still see porn stars being as relevant as they were, say 10 years ago or even now?
No, I know it's affecting porn, like the amateur, but I love it because I can be at home. But that's why I say like my direction that I'm doing now is I'm just shooting stuff at my house because I did all the porn for all those years to build that fan base, which helps me be able to make it at home now. But I mean, so many girls don't have to take the leap to be an actual porn star and not have that on the internet forever. Like, I feel like if you did amateur stuff, it's way harder for people to find out, like, career-wise. Like, me, if I wanted to go get a job with kids, not happening.
Right. Yeah,
like, they're going to be able to find, like, porn. But, like, the amateur girls can kind of, I feel like, not have to deal with all the consequences. And, yeah, anyone can do it. I have my little sister right now setting her up with a Snapchat.
Oh, really? Shit.
Get paid.
Bad influence.
Keeping it in the family.
She's broke. She's like, I need help. I'm like, oh, I got you.
Well,
I'm broke too.
Yeah, can you manage me?
Help me out.
I'll give you 15%. I'll do 20%. Fuck.
I mean, if we're being honest too, like, I'm not talking shit about like IG models. Like, I know a bunch of these people. They're totally fine, but that is softcore porn. If we're being real here, like you're a fitness model, my fucking dick.
Well, yeah,
like you look great, but that ass is really like, come on.
Any
now.
IG chick is one late rent check away from doing a private Snapchat.
Same though.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. I'm not judging. I'm just saying, like, let's be real, like what it is.
I'm just jealous. I'm fucking envious. It's all fuck.
Yeah. The problem is that we just flood the dick market.
Yes.
Yeah, too many dick pics out there for free, guys.
Yeah, guys, stop sending dick pics. Just don't
also,
do it.
I don't think there's a whole lot of women clamoring to watch a dude jerk off so they can
because
diddle
guys
themselves.
will do it too willingly, too easily.
But every time we open our phone, there's a dick just like...
Every time they open a social media app, there's just dicks fucking
so there you
flopping
go,
around.
directly from the mouth of porn stars. Do not fucking send dick pics. You're oversending dick pics. You're flooding the fucking market,
Know
dude.
your worth, king.
Young king.
It's simple laws of economics, dude.
Yeah.
So we never really went over the book.
Yeah, we got to talk about the book.
What is in the book? And I would assume this is some of the reason why you left porn. Is there?
Well, it's actually nothing's really bad about porn in there. It's more so like it kind of started from like the opening of it is like in high school, everyone's like, oh, colleges in Michigan, looking it up, and I'm just sitting there like best stripper names, trying to find my stripper name.
What was it? It was
Mercedes.
Karmen.
Okay,
Karmen.
All right.
I remember I was like looking at Aubrey and Karmen. It was Karmen with a C.
Aubrey's a good one too, though.
Yeah,
I
like those names.
Yeah.
But I really remember sitting there in school, just like trying to figure out what stripper name I was going to do when I moved to Florida, and I was like, I'm not going to go to college. But and then it's kind of just how I always knew how I wanted to do porn, and then it kind of goes through all of the craziness because then I went to move to Florida and I was like a fucking cokehead, like crazy, like so it's like all my crazy Florida, stories. And then like,
by the way, what part of Florida?
Pensacola.
Yes,
ratchet ass Pensacola. So yeah, I'm just kind of talking about that, and then like also then I was like selling drugs, and eventually I did move to California to start doing porn, and then
did you move to LA?
Back up. Drugs. What drugs are you selling? Are you riding around with a gun? Do you have it?
And this is in Pensacola.
Look at you.
I was like Bonnie and Clyde with my ex. Yeah. We were like crazy.
Where's white boy Rick? Spring Breakers over here.
Yeah, he's like, hold this gun in your pussy.
No, for real. We always drove around like it was. We were like super into all that stuff.
Well, you were
living the traveler.
You were full on Spring Breakers, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Are there pictures or videos out there you on camera with the gun?
Oh my god, I remember like posting this like, stupid ass thing on Instagram. It was like all my like Louis Vuitton stuff, and then like lines all out, and like a big bag of Coke, and it was like just another Tuesday night.
Yeah, FBI.
Facebook 5 years ago today.
No, literally, I would walk around selling Coke with a shirt that says "I fucking love Coke" on it. That had like the Coca-Cola bear on it, but like I was not.
Just young and stupid. We all did dumb shit.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
stupid.
For sure.
So it's kind of like, but like back then I was Tumblr famous. Like I was really big on Tumblr, and I would literally just like write every detail of my life on there. So I grew a really big following of mostly females.
Yeah.
So these girls, so when I did get into porn, and now that I wrote my book, it's tons of like females that know me. They'll be like, "Oh, from your Tumblr days," and it's really cool for them because they saw me posting all these crazy ass pictures, like and all my like. My name on like social media was like Cocaine Nose and Trinity Slay. Like I was such a fucking cokehead. So it's like
man, I feel so old
obsessed.
right now. Tumblr fucking selling. Oh my god.
Yeah. So then it goes into like me going to do porn and like how I got into porn and like all the fucking shit that I went through doing that and the stupid relationships I got into. And then it eventually goes to like where I meet my husband. And then I decide, okay, I have a drug problem. I need to get sober. And then I got clean and sober. And then I was starting to do really good in porn now that I wasn't all fucked up all the time.
That's life in general, right? Like if you're not fucked up all the time, you do way better.
Yeah. So I started like excelling in porn. And then like I decided like, well, I was like at the top. I kind of was like, I want to have a baby and I don't want to postpone it anymore. Cause like we were married for like a year and we both wanted to have a kid. So like the decision to leave and then the decision to come back too was like a hard decision to do, and then kind of like it touches base a lot of being a mom in that industry. And then the last chapter is actually my husband wrote, and it's kind of like addressing everything like
from his perspective
being like, are you some kind of like it just opening me like am I some kind of freak, like how can you date someone who does this, like I hear this all the time. And it goes into like him like saying, I think Karmen needs Amber and Amber needs Karmen. Like he was the one that pushed me to get back into it. He's like, I can just tell like something's missing from you. And like I was trying to be like housewife, like mommy, like trying to be like a normal girl, but he's like, just be you.
That's legit though, because then at some point you're gonna resent the other person.
Yeah.
I missed it so much, even for like the year and a half I was
missed that BBC, man.
Yeah. Was there like people clamoring for you to do like pregnant porn and shit like that?
Oh
while you
my
were
god,
pregnant?
That's a good call.
Yes, so many people were asking for that, but I'm like, I'm really big into like my daughter not hating me one day. So I was like, the last thing I want is when she like goes to Google me one day, which clearly she will.
She's starring on
sees her in the valley, like fuck no. So I made like a point, like I'm not doing any of that kind of stuff. But then like as soon as I popped her out, I'm like posting ass shaking videos again.
Wait, when you met your husband, was he into drugs and that shit at all?
He was never like.
He's a promoter.
He was a promoter, but he never did drugs, and he drank a little bit, but it was more like when we went out, he had to be like my babysitter, and like I would be like super fucked up, like making out in front of guys. Like he knows what I do for a job, but like I would just not give a fuck at all, and
that gets old super quick.
Yeah, and like he would not be doing drugs, and then I'm out till like 8 a.m, like just getting buck wild, doing like this crazy ass shit. So he was never the one that would be like, you need to slow down, but like we never talked. Like it was just like he knew I had like a problem, but I would not talk about it. And then one day I was like, I'm fucking sick of this.
That feeling of being up at like 8, the sun's coming up, and you're still doing bumps, and then and like my girl, she's cool, but like even when I'll come home and like I'll be with a bunch of my buddies, and I'll come home and I'm just like, what do I do? Like she's like, good morning. I'm like, fucking
don't talk to me.
I'm just like Googling when do liquor stores open so I can get more fucked up.
And so I can go to sleep.
Guys, do you want to go paintballing tomorrow? Let's go fucking paintballing tomorrow.
Yeah, all these stupid plans are not going to happen because everyone's going to be dead. Totally.
Everybody figures out life on coke, and they'll fucking look at it the next day and be like, oh my god, what the fuck was I thinking?
Oh my god, I remember my husband told me, he's like, no, I knew you had a problem when I came out at 8 a.m. and you were bleaching the walls, and I was like, oh my god, it's so dirty. I'm just like all coked out and just like scrubbing the wall. To be honest, I'd be like,
cool, get that done.
Toothbrush on the grout.
Cool, you're gonna clean that fine. I'll overlook that one.
One of my buddy's roommates, she had, I mean, this is way less funny, but she had a meth problem, and
I'm sorry.
But she would be in the kitchen like scrubbing tile, fucking like, and he was like, I mean,
Dude, there's a reason why they have them clean shit. The dealers.
My neighbors have a fucking dirt lawn, and she'll
That's
be
called
out.
dirt, it's
She'll
not
be
a lawn.
out there. No, there's like
Office.
patches of grass, and she'll be out there fucking with the fucking leaf blower,
Yeah.
blowing the
Yeah.
dirt. And I'm like,
keep it nice. What are you judging for?
Does she have like sunken
That's a hell of a
in-
drug.
Does she have the sunken in cheeks?
Yeah.
oh, she's for sure. That's
Yeah.
why I said that. She
That's
was
sad.
fucking. You know,
We have this dude that we grew up with who moved down to San Diego, and he was always like towards the path of being homeless. You know what I mean? Like he would just do whatever drug was put in front of him.
Yeah.
And we were actually just talking this. We were over at OTL earlier today, and we were all sort of reminiscing about shit like that. We have friends who were in town visiting, and some of our friends used to sell them weed, and they lived like right down the street, and they had dishes in their sink for like a month.
Oh, damn.
That's so
And
gross.
this is like grimy, like college.
You
know,
gotta throw
shit.
them out.
Yeah, yeah.
A month, you just
Yeah,
throw it
just
out.
throw 'em out.
you know how
yeah.
much mold's growing in there?
Oh yeah, dude, there's like fruit flies and everything, and they hadn't done dishes in so fucking long. It got to the point where they were like throwing like shit against the wall and just breaking it, and like this is one of the most disgusting places ever. Anyway, so they told our friend, they were like, hey, well, you know, he didn't have any money, so he's like, we'll give you some weed if you just clean the dishes. And so this dude fucking. This dude does all the fucking the most disgusting dishes you've ever seen in your
For
life.
weed?
For
Yeah,
weed.
for weed,
Yeah,
that's
for
not-
weed.
For weed?
For weed.
For
And then,
coke,
hold on,
maybe.
get this. And then they roll a blunt, and there's just one blunt, and then he smokes everybody out.
Oh my god.
For weed.
Yeah.
He got the short end of that fucking.
Oh
stick.
yeah, and then recently the guy got shot, ended up in a methadone clinic, so you know how it goes.
Yeah, fair enough.
Well, good. He's getting clean. There you go.
Well, fair-
So,
yeah, I don't know about that.
where can everybody get
Yes.
your book? And when does it come out?
So it comes out on July 23rd, but it's already on Amazon. So you can pretty much just search.
You can pre-order, right?
Yeah, you can pre-order. So you can just search Karmen Karma, or my book's called Overcome. But you can go on Amazon and just search Karmen Karma Overcome. And
Spelling.
it's right there. Carmen.
Did
Oh,
you
yeah.
did you get the tattoo from the book or
I-
the other way around?
I had the tattoo first, so my
Okay.
knuckles say Overcome, and I got it because I got it like when I was before I got sober, because I knew I wanted to get sober and I was trying for years and I wasn't, but I was also like, oh, it says come over too.
That's why I asked. Sorry.
Yeah.
You do a little both, you know?
yeah. I remember like there was this hot guy in a car next to me, and I was like trying to like show him like
You
come over
swear?
when I was all fucked up one night.
And that guy's dead in an accident.
Yeah, but yeah. So my knuckles say Overcome, and that's what I titled the book, just
Okay.
because that was like always like one word. I'm like, one day I am gonna like. I tried getting sober for so fucking long before it really stuck.
It
but,
sounds like you were in a pretty dark spot. Like,
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it was like fun party stuff, but it was also like.
Did you have to go to
interlaced with
rehab?
other Stuff. I put myself in like an outpatient
Yeah, yeah.
rehab, and literally just like sitting there talking about it made me like, I'd be like, okay, and then I would like sneak out and then just go do coke, because I was like,
Mhm.
I was like reminiscing about it. I'm like, oh fuck, that sounds good right now.
Did you ever feel like a fraud in there? Like you weren't actually a fucking addict, and like everybody else was the real deal, and you were just
No, I felt like the crazy one, because like there was like people that were that in there for like weed and stuff, or like and alcoholics, and I was like,
You in here for marijuana?
and, it was just like I felt like I had the worst problem more than anyone, because
Yeah.
I feel like everybody else was still kind of in denial too.
Yeah.
So like at that point, I knew like,
and you have the most expensive problem.
yeah,
That's not a cheap habit.
Fuck.
Yeah, like thank God I'm selling my pussy, because it's expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a never-ending supply.
Right, I know,
I mean,
yeah.
theoretically,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I mean, it is true.
Yeah.
Like even if you're like 80, there's
it's-
still people who want granny fucking porn.
the
You
oldest-
know?
it's the oldest profession in the Bible for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I always say, like, if you're a girl, you have a pussy, there's no reason you shouldn't have money.
You have no reason to be broke. Right there. You hear that? Write that down.
I'm pretty sure Tony Robbins said the same thing.
If you're a girl, you have a pussy. You
Yeah.
have no reason to be broke.
I'm gonna
ever.
text my mom that right
Yeah.
when we get out of here. Get to work.
Mom, don't ask me for money ever again.
Old folks home, you better get to work, bitch.
You want
Hey, you on the blade, girl?
you want to wrap this up?
Yeah, let's get out of here. Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah, I
We'll do
loved
this
it.
again. That was fun.
For sure.
We still have so many more questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
Love
come
it.
answer them all.
Love
Yeah,
it.
for sure. So book is in 9 days, the 23rd?
Yeah, you can go get it now, though. It's on.
Just the 23rd.
yeah,
Yeah.
just go search for it on Amazon. It's there.
Okay.
Overcome.
Boom.
Boom.
We'll put a link down in the
Yeah.
description.
Yeah, thank
We'll do that.
you.
Also,
Thank-
t-shirts.
Oh yeah, t-shirts. Yeah, of course. We put up new t-shirts. I just put up Danny DeVito today.
That
He
was a
looks-
good one.
He looks like Jesus. A little bit
He
offensive.
is Jesus.
The artist who I had draw it, she's like, I don't know if I can draw this. I'm like, come on, bitch.
Why?
Quit
Like
playing
she'd
with me.
be she'd be sentenced to purgatory or
well,
something?
she was like, I'm really religious. I was like, can you? But I was like, you're the only one that can draw it like I want it. Can you please? It's like an oil painting. You know?
She's got the skills. In other words,
fucking draw
It's,
this.
it's like the ones with the candles.
yeah. It looks like it kind of does look like candle. What is that called? It's like a
those religious candles
Yeah,
that they
yeah.
have. Yeah, that the Mexicans always have in their houses.
Exactly. Yeah. So anyway, t-shirts go up all the time. Of course, use the discount code FUCKSCOOP for 20% off. That's for show listeners. Don't share that with people who don't listen to the show.
Yeah, we see them coming in.
We
by the way,
see them. Okay. Thank you guys. We're gonna pop the E and get out of here.
on a 1
Two.
and a 3.
It doesn't feel right without Dom.
I know. It's not the same. It's not the same.
we didn't even mention Dom this entire time.
I know.
We might as well just mention it right now on the last thing.
Yeah.
Hey, Dom was being a bitch today. Is what it was.
No.
Oh,
it's
we
not,
didn't.
no.
We
He-
can
he-
mention him
he
on.
had, he had to DJ a gig. Anyways, long story short, the way it's going down right now with the studio is that if somebody can't make it, they're not going to be on the show.
Yeah,
So
it happens. Okay. Yeah. Bye, guys.
Bye.